Hi everybody, it's Cathy, and I'm here with video number 3 in my craft fair journal series. I'm showing you easy, low-cost ways to make journals that you can sell at your craft fairs. So today we're going to make what I call a pocketbook journal or a pocket journal. And here we go. I'll show you what they look like. The fronts have some lace and buttons and made out of cardstock. It has a removable elastic. You open it up, it has a full page pocket with a card. And on the opposite side, it has a vertical pocket with a card. You open it up this way and it has a corner tuck with a card and some journaling paper that I purposely left blank. Close that and turn the page. It has a blank embellished page, and this is really for folks to clip on receipts or put a photo in. On the opposite page, it has a glossine bag with a bookmark. And you turn that, it has a belly band with a paper for writing. Inside, it has a flip, place to write with a flip, place to hide things. Underneath, writing space and writing space. This side has a full page pocket. Well, can't get that out right now. And the other side is also a full page pocket with a card. And this side over here, more paper for writing with some deli paper I included. And the last thing has a full page pocket with a little pad in it with a rhinestone. Okie doke. It's accordion style. And that's what we're going to make today. Let me quickly show you the other one. It's similar. I think I just moved around some of the things inside. The same thing, lace and a button. Very simple. Full pocket with a card. Vertical pocket with a card. Journaling space. Corner tuck with more journaling paper. Just an embellished page with a clip to clip things there. A glossine or a bag with a card. And on this page, there's a belly band with a bookmark, a flip to write and hold things, a pad and more space to write, full page pocket, more journaling space, and a full page pocket in the back. And that's what we're going to make. So let me share with you some of the materials that you will need. You will need a stapler, some glue, a 12-inch piece of elastic. You can also use ribbon or string that you tie. You're going to need 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. It can be one-sided. I've already cut this in half. You're going to need some sort of bag if you choose to put that in yours. This was leftover, one that I made out of tracing paper. I'm just going to glue the inside. And you need any sort of journaling paper. It could be copy paper, it could be tea-dyed. This is just parchment, deli paper, and regular copy paper. That happens to be in a parchment tone. It's kind of ivory color. And I have this is 6 by 6. They need to be cut down to. And I have 2 sets of about 6 pieces total. Then you need some sort of complementing cardstock. It could be scraps that you have. This happens to be from a 4 by 6 pad. Save the leftover pieces from your copy paper that you cut down when you made it 6 by 6. You can use this for your tabs. You will also need a 1-inch punch to make notches. If you don't have a 1-inch punch, we can make notches in the form of a V with your scissors, so you don't have to worry if you don't have this. A bone folder might be helpful. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to put one of the pieces of cardstock aside, and we're going to begin with one of our cardstock pieces. If yours has a direction, you want the direction going vertically rather than horizontally. You want it going up and down. We're going to fold this in half. And because we're using one-sided cardstock, you really want to get your edges as close as you possibly can so that the white underneath does not show. I'm not the best at doing that, but I'll try. And you can use your bone folder there. We're also going to fold it in half again. And we're going to open it up, and we're going to fold our edges to the center crease. Just like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it back on itself. So you end up with an accordion style book that has a valley, a peak, and a valley, a mountain, and a valley. Okay? And as I said, the fold is facing my belly. The open edge is at the top. Okay? What we're going to do next is open it up. Just like this. And what we're going to do with the center, with the fold in the center, is we're going to notch our pages. I'm going to be using my 1-inch notch, 1-inch circle punch, and I'm going to notch on this edge. Try to get it in the center. I'm going to notch on this edge the same way. I'm going to notch on this edge, and I'm going to notch on this edge. Okay? A notch, a notch, a notch, a notch. 2 on the end, 1 on each end, and 1 on each center. As I said, if you don't have a circle punch, all you need to do is make a V. You can either fold it slightly and just go like that, and you'll have a V notch, and that's fine instead of these. But if you have a circle punch, go ahead and use that. We're going to fold this back up just like this, and we're going to set this aside for a moment. We're going to take our other 12 by 12 paper, and we're going to cut it in half, okay? Right along the center. And on this one, we're going to fold it in half with the white side up. Just like that. We're going to fold the edge into the center, turn it over, and fold the other edge into the center, so that you end up with mountain, peak, mountain, which is the opposite of what we did on the first one. First one was valley, mountain, valley. This one is mountain, valley, mountain. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the one that's not folded and put it on top of the one that's folded. And we're going to do that by taking the right edge and putting it in the last fold in our folded accordion. So we're going to essentially match up the mountain to the mountain, the valley to the valley, and then you end up with this thing left over, like this. Okay, let's do that again. I folded this one with the white side up so that it ends up being, turning it over, it ends up being mountain, valley, mountain. I want to make sure the direction's going in the right way. I take the right edge and I match it to the last fold in our other piece that we folded, in our folded accordion. And I place that last edge there. That immediately allows the mountain to sit on the mountain, the valley to sit on the valley, and then we're left with kind of two pieces left over. Okay? And what we're going to do next, sounds crazy, we're going to hold it where it is and open it up. Just like this. And it'll make sense in a minute. Kind of. We're going to turn it because I want to staple this to the bottom journal, the bottom accordion journal piece. And this gets kind of tricky when you go to do this because you don't want to staple this flap down. So I kind of just fold it under a little bit, making sure it's not going to get in the way. While I'm stapling it, I want to make sure my valley is still in the valley of the journal below. And I'm going to take my stapler. I want to make sure it's all matched up. I have my finger underneath to make sure I'm not stapling the paper underneath to the journal. Actually, I'm going to fold it up this way. Make me feel better. Okay. And I'm simply going to put one staple in. And kind of tricky, another staple in. And I want to make sure I fold back that other piece. So making sure I didn't staple it in place. I'm doing it because I don't want the staples to show after if I waited to staple it after I folded it, I didn't want the staples to show on the edge. So next you're going to do, put your stapler away for a moment. You're going to open this back up. And now we're going to glue it. So take out your glue. And we're going to start at the center crease, just above that crease, and we're going to add some glue. I have to clear out my glue. I take my pen out of my eraser where I keep it just for things like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue down the side, across, down. Then I'm going to glue on the side here down, and up, down, across, and up, and on either side, and down. Then I'm simply going to fold over our piece. Make sure it's glued properly. Whoop, I had some glue on here. So that right now you have this thing hanging out in the middle, and then you have your pockets. I like to go in with my bone folder. You'll notice I didn't notch that in the right place, but that will just have to do. And make sure that the glue didn't get all over so as to close the pockets. I like to go through with a bone folder. And the same thing on this side. Okay. Next thing I like to do is I don't like the way these white parts look. So I'm going to take from that leftover second piece of paper, I'm going to just snip some pieces off the side. And they're going to go right under. You don't have to be fussy about them. You just want to make sure that they're going to cover the notch. It just looks a little better. I'm going to make this a little bluer so it won't even look like a notch is there. You'll be able to slightly see it. And the nice thing is I'm matching it up so that you can't tell that my notch was way off. So I love about journaling, it's so easy to correct your mistakes. There. And then on this one, there's a piece of a rose. I'll put this up here. And you don't have to do this, but I always like to do it because quite often whatever you put in here will cover up the notch, but I just think it looks prettier. Oops. Whoop, whoop. Hoping I'm staying in the frame. There we go. And last but not least, one over on this end. There. And again, I want to make sure that I didn't glue the pocket closed. So I like to go in and just make sure. And we all learn from our mistakes because obviously I've done it before. Okay, next. We're pretty much done with the assembly. The only thing we have to do, I want to cut a 3-inch piece of paper from our cardstock that's going to cover all this white. So I need to cut 3 inches, and I am using my cutter for this. Okay, and I'm just going to glue that down. To this spot right here. Just makes it a little prettier. And as I go, I still want to make sure everything closes up in case my measurements were wonky. And these were. So I'm going to trim this because it's more important that the journal folds properly than whether this is covered completely. And these little mistakes here will be covered. Okay, so over here is where we're going to add our first set of 6x6 papers. So we're going to take our papers, fold them in half, crease them very good, and putting your hand underneath it, we're going to staple this in. Make sure it's lined up in that crease. And don't worry if it's hanging over, we can always trim it. And you're going to put 2 staples in. Try to get as close to that crease line as you possibly can. Look, I hate when that happens. A wonky staple. This stapler is notorious. I think I need to get a new one. Something fell off of it at one time. That'll be fine. Okay, so you'll notice it's a little wonky here. I am going to trim it a bit. Just want to trim that mess off. There we go. Alrighty. Now, in our original one, we had a corner pocket here, which we're going to put in, and we're going to use our contrasting color. And our pocket, I'm going to put it going this way. Just like that. Made a little long, so we're going to trim off just a bit. And then what that does as well, it hides that wonkiness on the when I had to trim it. Glue that in. Make sure that you're this side of the crease line when you do it. And I'm going to take a moment to put in a card for the full pocket over here. I'm going to use a corner rounder. You don't have to, but I like to use one. I'm going to put that right in here. I'm not using a lot of different colors in these journals. I'm really using 2 colors. Oh, maybe I'll put a piece of paper here to trim it down a little, maybe a little booklet out of some of the pieces that were left over. So, oh, let me just fold it. Gives even more places. Fold it and crease it well, crease it good. Staple it. Put a little pretty topper, just a little one. And you know me, I don't measure stuff. I just kind of wing it. And that's why quite often it comes out crooked. So I probably should be a measurer. And we're going to put that right there. And trim it. Glue it. And rhinestone it. What color rhinestone? Maybe just this color here. Maybe a clear one. As I said, I always put glue on my gems, even though they're adhesive back, so that they hold a little better. Let me get this open here. I should have gone in before it dried. That's why I leave this open. Oh no, it's a little too long, too wide. But that's okay. We have scissors. There we go. That's cute. I am going to loosen this up a little tad more. Hopefully not ripping it as I do it. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Turn the page. And on this page, we're going to put a full flap, and we're going to use the same color as the book itself. And we're just going to cut a strip. Straighten it up. And we're going to put it right there. Measure it. Cathy measurement. Don't throw those little scraps away. You can always use them as toppers. And what I want to do here, I want to try to hide these staples. Whoops. This is not straight. There we go. So I want to get as close to those staples as possible, covering them as best that I can. And inside this pocket, I want to put a contrasting color. So I'm simply going to use this scrap. Straighten it up. Round the edges. And plop it in. It just gives a little space to write or to hold things. Okay, so we turn the corner here. And this is the space that we're going to leave blank, except I am going to use my heart punch. I didn't tell you to have a punch, but you can use any punch that you'd like, that you think you want to use, or any sticker to embellish this part right here. And Isn't that pretty? We're going to put that here. I always like things crooked. And this punch happens to punch out letters as well. So I am going to use the letters this time. Like they're falling. They're falling from the flower, the heart flower. L-O-V. This is where you need those little tongs, but I'm not good at using those little tongs that people use to glue things. They're harder for me. So I just get glue over all my fingers and just do what I can do. And an E. Then on this side, we're going to put the bag. And remember I said I had a little leftover bag that I needed to glue. I used it for half of something else. And I'm just going to glue that. And I'm going to glue it down. Just like that. Then over on this side, though, I said I wanted to put a clip. I'm just going to put a regular paper clip here that'll curl the edge. And if you don't have one of these tools to curl the edge, I don't know how to do it without them. But these tools you can buy anywhere. Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to put a little clip on the top here to get it under there. Just so they have some place to put things. And I need something to go inside here. So let me do it also out of this material. Wonkiness. There we go. Okay. Then we have this side. What we're going to do here is first put a belly band here. And what do you know? I have one. Around the corners on this one. And in here I will put a bookmark. But you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to use my cutter. What an idea. Just so I get it even. Okay. And we need to cut it off a bit. Around the edges. On the smaller side. And add a little string after we punch a hole. And this is just colored twine. that I put in a knot. Okay. Then we open it up, and then what we need to do over here is, let's put in, simply with this color, and then see what I have that I can use. Make a little corner pocket up on the top. I want to make a small one though. Up here. And then in that, I'm going to add a strip of paper, maybe its own little pad, maybe a couple of strips. With a little topper. And I have leftover stuff here. So I'm simply going to cut off this, give it a wonky kind of cut, match it up, cut it off. I want to staple this, and I want to glue this. And then it makes just a cute little pad. And we can put that in like that. We'll put it in like this. What's going to go here is another little pad. I'm going to take some of this leftover paper. Because we have a dark background, I want to give as many places to write as I possibly can. So I'm going to cut off this at 3 inches, a little less than 3 inches. And I had too big of a stack, so I'm going to just cut it. Because I do want to use it all. And on the top here, I'm going to use, see what I have left. I have just enough to put a topper on it. So we can staple it together and put another topper on this. And this one we'll put a topper on both sides. We're going to glue that in place. And we're actually going to glue this last piece down. And let's put a rhinestone on somewhere. Let's put it over here. Color blue, blue. I want to put it here or here. I want to put it here. Okay. Next, back here is where we put our last pad. So we're going to take our other 6x6 papers, fold them in half, crease them really good. And they're going to go here. And we're going to staple them in place as we did before. Oop. Let's see what we've got. So we have, wait a minute. There we go. Okay. We open it up and we have this and this. Then we open this up and we have a corner pocket and a little pad, and we have places to journal. And we turn that over and we have a clip with a place to clip receipts or photos. We have a bag with a little card. We turn that over. We have a bookmark and a belly band. Then we have another corner band and a little pad, another little pad. Then we have 2 full pockets that I need to put something in. So I'm just going to take some leftover paper. I still have enough for topper for the paper. I'm going to make 2 small strips of paper. Try to straighten it out again. Usually what I do is on these, I cut all this stuff beforehand, but I didn't have the time to do that today. I wanted to get this done. So we're going to cut this in half, just so we have a little topper. And it's only 1 piece of paper. Whoops, oh my goodness. That was a whole lot of glue. This is like what not to do in a video. I apologize. It's really been something today, so I appreciate you hanging in there, if you are hanging in there. Oh, we all have those days. What can I tell you? I'm not going to apologize. It is what it is. And we're going to put this right in here. And I think it's going to be too long. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm going to just snip off a few pieces. And we're going to put that right in there. First time's always the hardest to get it in. There we go. There we go. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. And this goes down here. Like that. And what this is places to put stuff, maybe smaller photos. Okie doke. And then we have one last place for a pocket. So I'm going to put a index card. I didn't tell you to have index cards, but I always keep them on hand so that we can use them as journal cards. And let's see if I have one last piece of something to make it look pretty. Let's see. Can I do anything with this? Maybe I can just add this. And they'll have a cute little place to write. And then I'll round the edges. Okay, let me glue that. Cute. And we'll put this in here. It will be a surprise heart. Next, what I'm going to do to make this prettier is I'm going to need to put some lace here. So bear with me as I take out some lace, which I was going to put on anyway. But oh, I'm so sorry. I really messed up that spot there. Okay. We're going to glue this on. I'm going to glue it at the very edge. Take just a strip of this. Okay, let's see how we're closing here. That still looks pretty, don't you think? So we're going to put this right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my. And then I want to put I want to hold this for a second. And then I want to get some little quote to put on the front. I always like to include these. Let's see. How about choose to see the good stuff? Not gonna fit. I need something smaller. How about believe in yourself? And I'm gonna put that right across here. And I always like to glue this as well, because a lot of times this little backing doesn't stay on. And I'm going to go in and clean it up. There we go. Okay, so let's look at what we made, and then I'll have to go back and play because the other two I made didn't come out as wonky as this, so it had to do with something I did in the beginning. So that being said, let's go back and see. We open it up, and the first thing we see is a full pocket, and then we have a full vertical pocket with a card. We open that, we have journaling space, a corner tuck with a little pad, and we close that up, turn the page, and we have an embellishment page with love and a clip to hold things. We have a little glossine bag and a card. Turn that page, and we have a belly band with a bookmark. We open that up. We have another corner with a little pad and another little pad. Then we have one full pocket, another full pocket, more journaling space, and a full pocket with a heart. And that is it. I keep going to do that. And we're going to close it up. Good. Okay. So, but I still think that's pretty, but I do think it needs a little embellishment. It needs a few, maybe green ones this time, because this looks like a Band-Aid otherwise. It's weird. It reminds me of a Band-Aid for some reason. We're going to have a green one and another green one. And I'm going to just wipe that off a little bit. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and try to make it on your own. The next one we'll be doing is a very small mini journal. We were going to do that this time, but I figured out how to make these. I'm excited because this is the first time I've really made something, figured out the design on my own. I had never done that before. And obviously it needs some work, but I think they'll be a nice seller for craft fairs. Anyway, thanks for watching. And if you don't mind, please hit like if you liked it. I would really appreciate that. Thanks and have a good day. Bye.